This is a Glassbox Media podcast.
Pieces. So I was like real stoked to get some like fun cashy wear from like, you know, Rent the Runway. So I got so now I have like 6 pieces for with my subscription, which is awesome. But this sweater is so cute. It's All Saints, but it is fucking 1 billion degrees and I have nothing on underneath it. And I'm like, I want to strip it off right now, but we're video chatting.
You should. I mean, I did just start recording, so maybe
bonus content.
Don't do that.
But I did this. Yeah, right. Seriously, I did the same thing. I was wearing a sweater, and like the living room where I work during the day is cold, but the bedroom has this giant freaking window, and so I walked in here and I was like, God, it's fucking hot. I had to go and change.
My favorite thing about this whole fucking shenanigans is how many people I see out when I'm walking TIG who literally have stopped giving any kind of fuck about what they look like. People are out here wearing some wild ass shit. I'm talking, I've never seen anything. I've seen more Crocs in West Hollywood than I've seen in my fucking life. That shit is wild.
They dusted them off, man. They dusted them off. Because I'm telling you, like, me too. I put on makeup to record with you guys. Like, literally I did. But there are some brave-ass people. I had 3 meetings today at work. And there are people who have their cameras on. And I'm like, y'all, you know you don't have to. Like, you can disable that. I was like, because I look like garbage. Like, why?
My favorite
Nobody
thing,
asked
though,
you to do that.
And my favorite thing is that video conference where that fucking chick goes to the bathroom. I've watched that like 3 times, like crying, laughing.
It was on my list of things to talk about today. It was literally in my notes because I was like, honey, like those are people you have to like. Thank God you don't have to see them face to face for another fucking month. Thank God, because if you had to go into work on Monday. I'm like, sorry.
It's always going to be too soon. It's always going to be too soon. No matter when you go back to work. Yeah, I quit my job.
Honestly, you need to send an email with your notice. Just like, immediately.
I was like, okay, she's carrying her laptop. I'm like, what is she thinking? She pulls her pants down and people are like, what did she think she was doing? Did she see other people's video? Like, what the fuck?
I said the same thing, and Anthony was like, well, I think she probably thought that she had muted her video. Like, maybe she, like, she hit the wrong button, or, like, she thought she hit it and she didn't. And I was like, honey, like, first of all, also, if doing all this FaceTime, Google Hangout, Zoom conferencing has taught me anything, it's that it's impossible not to fucking look at yourself. So I'm like,
that you could
how did you not
see?
Your video was still up. And you know, like I follow people on YouTube, and there's one of my favorite like YouTubers. She was on Twitter talking about how like she's like, I just can't be bothered to care about like makeup right now. It just seems so trivial. It seems like the world is ending, and like why do we care about this stuff? And everyone in the comments was like, we know it feels weird, but please just do it because we need something to distract ourselves with, you know? And so because I know, me too, I've been relying so much, and I've seen this argument being made across social media that's like, every time you're undervaluing the work that artists do, remember this moment, because what are all of you doing when you're sitting at home? Yeah, it's like you're turning towards creators and like content creators and artists, and like you're watching TV shows and you're listening to music. These things are keeping you entertained right now. You know,
point. And honestly, like I've watched so many different makeup tutorials in the past week and like fucked around with stuff because I'm like, who the fuck's gonna see my face? Doesn't matter. Like I can practice. I can practice and get good now.
So true.
So I'm like,
so
keep
true.
cranking it out, please.
Yes. Yes. I have been using, because I went through a phase where I was really like obsessive about concealers, and I bought like 1 million of them. And then of course I found a bunch of them that I'm like, they're too heavy. I'll never use this like out or whatever. But now when I'm like playing with makeup at home, like right now, I have one of them on because I'm just like, this is a good opportunity
to play with this. Yeah.
Yeah. To like use this stuff up and play with it and, you know, do fun stuff like that. And I'll tell you, man, I got real into, I've been watching skincare videos. So remember when I talked to you guys about Robert Welsh and I was like, I just love him and he's so like soothing makeup artist. He has a twin brother, and they are like so similar. And his name is James Welsh, and he's a skincare guy. So I've been watching his videos, and I had a Sephora gift card, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take this opportunity to like refresh my face. You know, I'm working out a little bit every day, so I put a huge like skincare order in at Sephora. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you guys because I thought that this was kind of funny. So we are trying to not make everything we talk about Corona related. It's not our goal because I'm sure that everybody is getting enough of that everywhere else. But I saw this
your
thing.
Corona escape plan.
We are. I'm look, you guys, I cannot stop saying coronavirus to Anthony like every fucking day. Like every second I'm using that like Cardi B
remix. It slaps. It is so good. I've been like it's been in my head all day.
It's so funny.
But are you guys doing what I'm doing, which is changing the lyrics to everything to relate it to Corona? Because I'm like, you know, the good as hell, feeling good as hell. I'm feeling bored as hell. I'm
my God.
Changing lyrics to everything to just match my mood for Corona. What I'm wearing is Corona casual. Like every lyrics are being changed. It's fucking crazy.
I will say, like, I'm kind of impressed at our ability to find shit to do. Like Anthony and I dusted off the Wii. I swear to God, our Wii was made in like 2005. Like it's like an old school one, and it took us forever because it was all like dusty, and I couldn't even find the aux like inputs in my TV anymore. Like because I've got a new TV, so I was like, it took me so long. But we have been in there playing like Wii tennis and Wii bowling like every night.
Dude,
amazing.
When I first got my Wii, this was like fucking years ago. I remember I did boxing one day, and oh,
were you sore?
My God, how hard was I punching the air? Because I have yet to be that sore in my life. No personal trainer, no fucking workout has made my arms hurt as badly as Wii boxing did. And I'm like, I'd give anything for video of what a freaking crazy person I look like. Just
maniac. Absolutely. Dude, it is so, like, Anthony is so concerned for his safety because when I'm playing tennis, like I'm flailing so like hard. Like Anthony does these like little movements. He's like, you don't really have to like move that far for it to register. And I'm like, no, it looks like I'm like
you're really playing tennis.
Yes, I look like Serena Williams. Like I am like all over my living room. My arms are fucking all over the place. I really want to do the boxing, but you have to have the nunchuck connection thingy because you have to have it in both hands, and I don't have one. So I mean, I might have to turn to eBay and see if I can't find like
20 cents
a used. Yeah. But actually, like Anthony will not allow like a used item to come into this home right now.
I
like,
love
he will not.
I love that you are like fanatical to Bubble Boy.
I know. I mean, in fairness, like this is probably how we should be. Like we should be like approaching things this way. But like, I swear to God, Christina, you'll relate, and you too, Cassie. But like my "don't tell me what to do" button has gotten hit so hard throughout this whole thing. Like I went out to get the mail today, and Anthony was like, "Wash your hands," and I was like, "I swear to God, first of all, don't tell me what to do."
We
ever
talk about
again.
Wash your hands. Thanks, Dad. It's always
exactly. I was like, I fucking know. I've been outside during this pandemic. I know what's up.
the fact that I started dating somebody in early November who I love and who we plan to move in on April 1st, and which is amazing.
Congratulations.
And so we have a new relationship that was formed under normal life conditions. And now,
oh God, oh Lord,
we are quarantined, work from home, 1-bedroom apartment.
The universe was like,
this is fast forward times 1,000. You know what I mean? Because it's like,
the universe was like, let's test this shit.
Yeah, if you can make it through this, you can make it through anything. Honestly, Anthony and I were saying that too. We were like, well, you know what? Good for this to happen. Like, before your marriage, what a good way to be like, how much do you like each other really? Because you're going to be in a room together for like 2 months.
I saw an article today that Bumble, Tinder, Match.com, all those Hinge, all the online dating apps are up over 20% usage. So people that are quarantined together, people need to connect.
People need to connect.
A lot of video dates and stuff. So listeners, if you're single right now,
that's
I know,
cute,
I'm like,
actually.
what are you doing? How are you dating? I want to know. I'm so intrigued because I'm like, what would I do right now? I would probably still be on. I would be on the apps, but it would be a lot of video dates.
God. Imagine
here's something
if you were still
that
single
I
by
can
yourself.
guarantee
That would
you.
Suck.
Yeah. Here's something that I can guarantee you a lot of single people are probably doing, and that is using Pornhub right now. So, Pornhub.
If you talk about compilations again, I'm going to pee my fucking pants.
No. Although it is an option for you. It is an option if you're accessing Pornhub during this time. But Pornhub has actually donated 50,000 surgical masks to the New York City area workers who are on the front lines of this pandemic. And they also opened up a massive porn library for them for free. They were like, you can access Pornhub Premium for free. That's our gift from us to you.
God's word.
Not all heroes wear capes. Not. That's right.
And honestly, 50,000 surgical masks. Like,
honestly, and they know. I feel like everybody,
awesome.
like when they're stressed out and overworked and everything, they're like, all you want to do at the end of a day is take a nice long hot shower, rub one out, and go to bed. And thank you, Pornhub, for making that easy for those people to do so.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
They're tired.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah. I mean, kudos to them.
Bless up.
I saw that and I was like, that's really nice of them.
Oh, my God.
Good for you.
Well, this is my worst date. I'm Cassie. I'm Christina.
No, you're not.
I'm Keegan. Oh, no.
I was looking at Cassie. Oh, no.
I did that before. I remember. I'm like, I'm Christina. No, I'm not.
I'm Christina.
I'm Cassie.
Oh my God.
Hi, I'm Keegan.
We have new patrons.
Amazing.
Cat.
We do. We have Nicole.
Yes, thanks for joining
us.
us
So much.
So
and Victoria Raider.
We're gonna try to get your patron rewards to you as soon as possible. They are coming, and anybody that's given $1, that's given more, like, we couldn't be more thankful right now to be able to continue this. We are going to tour at some point. We are going to make new merch and everything. We figured out lots of ways to make this recording happen remotely, and because you guys have donated, that's how we've been able to do this. So we thank you guys so much for helping us out.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and we are working on some very fun bonus content for you guys. I know we said it in the last episode, but we were having issues with the video recording, but we are trying to figure that out. So we are going to be doing that and doing snippets of our episodes kind of live-ish through this video recording for you guys. And then also we are considering doing some YouTube live Q&A sort of deals. So we'll keep you guys up to date on those things, because I know we need to feel connected right now. It's really important for us to see other people and feel like we're connected to other human beings. So we'll definitely let y'all know. It's as important for us as it is for you. You know, it's as much for us as it is for you. You know,
I have an idea for Fuck, Marry, Kill, guys.
Ooh, yeah, let's do it.
And Christina, you may have to allow it this time, but it might have to be Fuck, Marry, Friend.
Oh my God, every time.
And here's why. Listen, calm down. I want to do frontline jobs.
Ooh, yeah,
like,
we can't.
Not specific people. You cannot kill any of them.
No, absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You got to Fuck, Marry, Friend.
Yeah, I'll allow it. Absolutely.
Okay. So what do you think? Do you like that idea? We don't have to. We can scrap it.
Oh, dude, absolutely.
No, we can
Fuck,
do it.
Marry, Friends.
Okay.
So we're talking doctors,
like nursers. Okay.
Who else? We've got God, so many people.
Grocery store workers.
Grocery store workers.
That's my pick, because they help me.
Life. Do you know how many
food delivery
hundreds of dollars I have spent at the grocery store? I have done my 2-week stock up of groceries every third day.
Yeah, I know. I loved that meme that was like, this is my 4th time getting my 2-week alcohol store.
Oh, same.
So we just like keep going back, because we're like, what if they close the stores? Like, what if they close the stores and then we don't have this one thing that we want or need?
I know.
You know,
I'm almost out of my box of wine.
Yeah, my wine box is getting pretty low, but it's okay because I have a jug of sangria. So I've got a backup jug. So we'll be all right. But I went and bought like another big thing of vodka, and it's amazing how you get less picky in these times. Like, I was like, what's available? Svedka. It's $15.99 for like a giant handle.
Perfect.
Coming into my house.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
that's
Googling bathtub gin, you know. I'm like, what do I need? Okay, like, this is gonna happen. And also, I'm glad that dispensaries are considered essential in California, because honestly, like, I was like, we're stockpiling J's over here to make sure that we make it through.
Did you see that thing in Colorado where they were like, we don't consider weed stores or liquor stores to be essential businesses? And Colorado is one of those states where you can't get liquor in the grocery store.
Oh, no.
So it's like they're going to close down the liquor stores and the weed stores.
Dude.
And I'm like, oh, we need it.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Actually, we need it.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, guys.
You want me to be like,
sorry, Colorado.
Keep calm and carry on. You better come with a 5th of fucking bourbon or something, you know? Because that's...
Yes, the red wine is keeping me sedated.
Right. I just
keeping me calm,
you know, and I took that pause or what have you, and I've been really good about being more mindful, not like drinking a bottle of wine a night or whatever, but even still, it's just like I don't know what I would do right now. Like, these are such extreme situations, and like, I can't I've been meaning to check out Talkspace, because I'm like, I can't go to my therapist.
Yes.
And I'm like,
not sponsored by Talkspace, but yes.
Yeah, I know. I really want it. Talkspace, if you're out there, I feel like you're doing God's work, especially nowadays. And I'm checking it out, because what else are we supposed to do? Like, I'm doing all of my things, like going out to run, going out to blah, but you know, we just, I can't imagine if the liquor stores and the dispensaries were closed. I'd be like,
fuck.
People will start killing each other. Honestly, they will. But also, with all of that said, I do want to give a shout out to people who are in recovery in this situation right now, because the stress of this, I feel like if you are really trying to, like, one day at a time.
Can we talk about how many,
you know, your sobriety, this could be really hard.
How many fucking
they're sponsoring
teenagers I've seen out too? Like, I feel my heart goes out to parents right now who
I got personally offended by, there were like, I don't know, who the fuck are the writers at like Newsweek? Might not have been Newsweek, but I think probably it was. Who are the writers at like Newsweek or Washington Post or whatever these other publications were that were like, millennials at spring break, they just won't stop partying? And I'm like, honey, millennials are in their 30s. That's not us. We are holed up with our anxiety at home watching Netflix. We are not fucking like partying in spring break. You want Gen Z.
Yeah.
Okay? You want, come for their throats.
Yeah.
Stay away from me. It's not me. I'm drinking wine on my couch. Calm down.
Chad in South Beach, we don't claim him. That's not us.
No. He's not part of my pride. Like, no, he's not part of my tribe. Like, my brothers need to come get their people. My little brothers. I'm like,
okay,
come get your people.
So we're fuck, marry, friend, grocery store workers, doctors, and who else?
I think nurses. I think you have to. Yeah, nurses.
Yeah.
But you know
I know
what?
it's both medical.
Is there a way to do a fourth? Because delivery people.
Oh my God.
God bless.
My God. Postmates.
And also truck drivers. This is impossible.
Truck drivers. That's right.
Because truck drivers are being treated like garbage.
Yeah.
And they are the ones getting us all of our shit. Like, our world would stop if we didn't have truck drivers. It's so hard. Because, like, today it was... So what I did, since I couldn't go out on my birthday, I spent the money I would have spent on drinks, on clothes,
yes,
to wear when this is all over. And they got delivered this morning, and this woman, like, she, like, literally, because I was, like, right by the door when she knocked, she must have, like, knocked and ran away. Because I, like, caught her, like, going down my stairs, and I was like, thank you, like, waved at her. But they're still out, like, having to come to people's houses and interact with people and bring you stuff. They're going to bring me my shipment of Sephora skincare products. It's like,
how about this?
Amazing.
We'll choose them too, and we'll do fuck, marry, friend, family.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
All right. I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
And let's just put truck drivers and delivery people in one.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
I think we put grocery workers and delivery in one. Oh, okay.
No, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, because grocery I'm putting with like liquor store people and dispensary people.
Got it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed. Okay. All right. So we have grocery store, which includes liquor and dispensary.
Mm-hmm.
We have truck drivers and delivery people. We have doctors and nurses.
Doctors.
Or do we want to do separate?
Doctors and nurses. We could just do fuck, marry,
then we
friend.
can just do three.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck, marry,
Okay. Let's do that.
Okay. I am going to fuck grocery store, liquor, dispensary. Because I'm going to get high. I'm going to eat all the food. I'm going to get high and get a bottle of wine. And we're just going to fucking chill. And it's just going to be one of those lazy fucks, you know, where you just like turn over and they kind of slip it in from behind.
Oh!
I personally, I love a lazy
they're tired.
fuck. I'm tired. You're tired. You just worked
Me
a fucking
too.
12-hour shift. Lazy fuck.
Oh
I'm
my God. The
down.
days are behind me when I want to be doing like fucking
Acrobats.
aerobics.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm
We're
tired.
all tired. You can slip it in from behind. I'm happy about it. I'm fucking grocery store workers. I'm going to marry. I'm going to marry a delivery driver. They're fucking hardworking. They're reliable. They are just like the people that are out there doing that job. And I know a lot of people, actually. I know a lot of people that have worked for UPS, that have worked for Amazon, and that's the thing. They work long hours. It's very physical, and they're good, strong, reliable people. You can count on them to get your shit to you. If like you need something, you can count on them, and that's important in a marriage. And I'm going to
yeah, and truck drivers too. I mean, they don't stop for nothing.
Yeah.
No, my dad's has done truck driving, And then I'm going to friend doctors and nurses because I've had lots of drinks. I have had lots of friends. My fucking Aunt Tracy is a nurse practitioner. They're my best friends in the world. That's what I'm going for. And they, my God, dude, they're wild. They're wild to hang out with. Nurses are so fun.
Almost as crazy as hairdressers.
Dude, we have a group of nurses that comes into my work. They come in like at when we used to be open for dining. We'd come in at 8 a.m. and would order like fucking mimosas, Bloody Marys, like bottles of champagne. And I was like, pour it out.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Okay, so I am going to fuck a delivery person / truck driver because I feel like, you know what, they're on the road a lot. When they're home, they're like there to be like, we're gonna like do the damn thing like when they're home. Do you know what I mean? Like they're gonna come through your city, they're gonna do the deed, and then they're gonna be on to the next. And I'm okay with that.
Out.
I like that from a fuck buddy. I think that's good. And again, they're reliable. If they say they're going to be there at 8, if your dick appointment is 8 p.m., they're going to be there at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay?
They're not Comcast.
That's when your package has arrived. Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, I'm going to do that. And then I am going to marry doctors / nurses because of the same thing that Christina was talking about. They are fucking bananas. They're super fun. And yeah, I think that they're doing fucking God's work right now. I saw a thing on Instagram that was like nurses showing their like bruises. Yeah. Like they have literal bruises because they're keeping their face masks on so tight on their faces and they're working such insane hours. And the kind of heart that I think goes along with that job, especially nurses, because I feel like it's often thankless. Like I've known a lot of nurses and it's often like a very thankless job. So
they get
the kind of heart
they get so shit on because they're dealing with people at very vulnerable and very like people like sick people, so they get so much abuse, and they're dealing with families that are scared, and they're taking a lot of abuse from our fucking shit ass insurance system where people are upset and scared about that and taking it out on them. So yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. I think nursing is one of the hardest professions you can get into right now.
Yeah, and I think you have to have a certain kind of disposition and heart and patience to have that job. And so I think that could make for a really wonderful spouse.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to marry nurses and doctors. And then I am going to friend the grocery store workers. Honestly, my heart is with these grocery store workers because I've been at the store like a couple times since this whole thing has started, and every time I see these people, I'm just like, if I could hug you right now, I fucking would. I really would. If I could buy you a drink,
please do not hug me.
They're like 6 feet minimum, but
ma'am, please don't.
Ma'am, back
I have yet to find toilet paper. I swear to God, I've been four times since this whole thing went down. You can't order it on Amazon. You can't get it in the stores. I've got like, I don't know, 8-9 rolls, but I'm just like, you can't get it on.
Do you need me
Amazon.
To mail you a roll?
I might need you to toss it to me from your balcony.
They actually, you know what? I don't know if we will be to the store again before things get even more crazy lockdown. But we were there because we had to pick up something, more vodka probably. We were there a few days ago, and we bought another, like just a little thing of toilet paper. Yeah. I think it was like 6 rolls or something, but they do have it at the one near us. So if I do end up going back and I see some, I'll buy some for you. Because I think we have enough now to be just fine. Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
all right,
I've
Cassi.
like 12 rolls so far. So, all right. So I think that I am going to, let's see. I am going to friend nurses and doctors. And here's why. Because I've heard that if you're like your husband's a doctor, he can't like operate on you and do stuff on you, right? Like So I might need them in a pinch, and that would put us in a very vulnerable situation if I was married to that person.
There you go.
And I fucking.
But what if you were friends? Like, can you operate on someone you have a friendship with?
I thought it was just family. Maybe
I don't know.
Oh,
you know what? They just be like, don't tell them.
Yeah.
Don't tell them we know each other.
Don't
tag me in any of your Facebook pictures.
That's right. And then I'm going to fuck. I'm gonna fuck grocery and grocery and the liquor store, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. They're gonna come with all the heat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
I thought you were gonna stop after they're gonna come, and I was like, oh,
Wow.
okay.
They are gonna come. And the end. And then
Did you guys have that? What was it? The gas station place that was come and go?
No.
Did you guys not have that?
We talked about it.
Did we? Okay, all right. No need to rehash it, but it just pops into my mind at like inopportune moments. I'm like, come and go with a K.
With a K.
K-U-M.
Honestly,
K-U-M.
that's the most offensive to me, honestly.
I can't believe Karen lets them get away with that, to be honest. Because it's like dead Midwest, right? Like,
It's so bad.
Yeah.
come and goes in Missouri, in Oklahoma, in Texas. Like, what? And then I'm going to marry the truck driver delivery guy because, I travel for work. They travel for work. We come home on the weekends and we do the right thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what? If I were to say that Chris would have any of those jobs, I would say that Chris would be like a truck driver delivery person of those three.
Yeah.
I think that his disposition is more like that. He's like chill. He's like just fucking lay back.
He would love to
And
be
I
on
see
the road
that.
by himself in a truck listening to podcasts and sports radio. Yeah, I could absolutely see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Awesome.
Well, you guys want to take 5 and we'll come back with stories?
And we're back. Hey, guys.
Right.
Cassie, you want to take us away with the first story?
Yes. So I got this story from Reddit. So this story is, I'm not going to name it. It just took a left turn. That's what I'll call it. So I'm a cisgender male. I matched with this one girl on Tinder. We decided to meet up at a local park since it's public and we had a chance to walk around and have a nice chat. Plus the weather was pretty nice. Suddenly though, the weather got pretty cold and windy. She suggested we go to my car for warmth and continued to talk and maybe exchange some YouTube videos. That's what we did until she got a little bit frisky. I was okay with it. We started to make out. This is fine. She grabbed my chest. Unexpected, but okay. Then she dropped the bomb on me. You're such a pretty girl. That was a bit much. I didn't really like the direction that was going. I pulled back and said, what?
Wait.
Time out.
So from what I remember, the first sentence was he's a cisgender male, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So
Okay.
she immediately she was really apologetic and started crying. She calmed down and told me that she's been trying to suppress the fact that she's a lesbian, even though she's always known. Oh. It's because her mom is extremely religious. I didn't quite know how to react, but okay, kind of awkward, but because I'm a man, but I'm glad she's living her true self. Then things got kind of off the rails. She decided that then and there she was going to call her mom and come out to her. I asked her if she thought that was a good idea. She said, I don't care. She called her mom, still in the car, and came out to her. There was screaming and crying on the other end of the line. I couldn't quite make out what she was saying, but at one point she just started weeping and saying, Mom, please. So long story short, she was kind of kicked out of the house.
I'm sorry, is this a first date?
That's
Yes.
what I was saying.
A first date?
That's what I was saying. I was like, no, there's just a rule. No parents on the first date. Like, ever. I can't think of a situation.
No parents, and also just like no heavy shit.
That's heavy.
Don't. Like, I understand and I support you 100% in being like, I'm going to live my truth. I'm going to come out to my parents. Like, I need to do this for me. I am with you 100%. Yes, queen.
A stranger.
I don't know you. Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, we are strangers.
In a stranger's car. Okay, so she's having a full-blown panic attack, which I can't really judge her for. I mean, I wouldn't. But when she calmed down a bit, I asked her if there was somewhere she can stay. She said she had her dad. I said, no problem. Where does he live? 60 miles away was the answer. But I am nothing if not a man of my word, so I drove her there. Aww. She spent whole car ride.
Time out. He sounds wonderful. He truly sounds wonderful. But does she not have any friends she can call?
I mean,
like, if I was in this situation and I was on a date with somebody, I would call one of you and be like, can you drive me to my dad's house?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Why would you feel comfortable doing this kind of personal shit around a stranger? Because this makes me cringe, like, in her shoes, too. Because, like, I don't like to feel my feelings in front of people I don't know. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, God, especially not people I don't know.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder if, like, something, maybe she doesn't have friends. Like, is something wrong? Like, I don't know. Like, because I'm just like, why wouldn't you? I wouldn't want to be around a stranger if this happened. Amen. Like, I would call you guys and be like, this is so embarrassing. Can you come pick me up? I'm with this guy. Can you please take me to my dad's? Like, I just need to cry and be with my friend. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, awful in every way you look at it.
So I drive her there. She spent the whole car ride on the phone with him in tears. I didn't hear much, but from what I can tell, judging by what she was saying, he sounded like he was really nice and a total supportive dad. Aww. When we got there, her dad thanked me for giving her a ride. And to his credit, he fed me dinner, gave me $50 in gas money. So that was really nice of him. I just went home and slept.
That's so cute.
I know. I texted her a week later to make sure she was doing okay and check in with her, but that was the end of our correspondence. Can you imagine?
Oh my God, I feel terrible for everybody involved, but shout out to that fucking dad.
But honestly, shout out to this guy too, who really didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Either. He could have been like, I'm just dropping you off. You find your own ride or something. I don't know, but
he did go above and beyond.
On a complete stranger.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Aww, that's amazing.
That was kind of good. I hope it worked out.
Yeah. Hopefully she's living her best life now.
And also to that mom, just like, how could you ever? Like, I don't understand. I don't have kids. The love I have for my cats. There's literally nothing that my cats could do that would make me love them less. So I don't understand this like idea that like you could have a child and you could love them more than anything in the whole wide world, and then they could say anything to you that could make you be like, never mind. Like, I just don't understand that at all.
Especially something so trivial as to like who they are attracted to or who they want to love. It seems so
affects your life, not at all.
It seems
like,
so trivial to me that I'm just like, okay, like I can understand having to grapple with something if your kid was like, I killed like 62 people. You'd be like, sure, I need to come to grips with that. But
that's different. That's a hell of a lot different than loving someone of the same gender.
Right.
That's not even in the same fucking boat.
At all in the same boat at all. And so I don't get why people are still so.
They're not hurting anybody.
No.
Why does it bother you so much? It doesn't make any sense. I could never see like loving someone less because of that. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got a story that was written into us a while ago. And it says, as a single lady in a big city, I tend to find myself on a lot of Tinder dates. While some go well and others are duds, none have been as weird as this one. It was a Friday night. I had 2 holiday parties to go to later in the night, and I was off work early. I was texting all my friends searching for a happy hour buddy, but no one would be ready till at least 9, and I was ready to start drinking immediately.
That's how I feel like getting off on like Corona time. I'm like, I'm ready for a drink right now.
Yeah.
Dude, I get like itchy like towards the end of my work day where I'm just like, can we wrap this up? Like, I'm ready. I'm ready to like slap the bag on my Franzia. Come on, let's go. I started scrolling through Tinder around 3 p.m. to find a drinking buddy. I don't know that that's the best. You're like, I just need someone to drink with on Tinder,
dude.
Would you ever have done that, Christina?
I did.
Yeah.
Just to find a happy hour buddy?
Yeah. I would just like find people to just like go and have a drink. I mean, it was pretty easy. Like if I got bored on like a Wednesday or Thursday, just like go on and just find somebody and be like, hey, do you want to go grab like happy hour or something? And people like, yeah, let's do it. Like I did it several times. Most times without incident. Most times were like absolutely fine. It was like maybe sometimes was like, oh, okay, like cool. I'm attracted to you. You're attracted to me. But like that was like such a slim margin. Most times it was just like just somebody to go have a drink with on both sides.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Oh, okay. So you guys had like an understanding. Like this is not a date. This is just like I'm bored on a Tuesday night at 5 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you meet me for 2 for $1 margaritas?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. This attractive boy answered. He happened to be off work and was ready to start his Friday early too. We decided to meet up at a bar that is known for their $6 pitchers of beer. I show up and the night goes pretty smooth. He was a pitcher deep before I got there, but I caught up. We had a lot of similar interests and seemed to enjoy the same vices. 2 pitchers each.
Wow.
And about 2 hours later, that's a lot.
That's
of
a
beer.
lot.
Not that I'm judging.
No,
No.
not judging at all. But I can tell you, at 2 pitchers deep, there's a lot of things that I would do that I wouldn't do not 2 pitchers deep.
That's exactly right. I'll tell you, like, I'm not a beer drinker, but as we know, I like a good michelada, which, by the way, I was heartbroken last time I went to the store because I'd been craving them and they were out of micheladas at the store. It was very sad.
Just get yourself some beer and Bloody Mary mix.
I feel like I can't do it as well as the mulatto tall boy is like all I want.
Yeah.
Modelo, sorry, the Modelo tall boy.
I was like, wait, I don't think it's called mulatto.
Oh no! Oh, I can say that because I am one.
Exactly, me too.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, that's all I want. But I can say like last time I bought one was whenever I was doing my hair and it took me like 6 hours and I took that time to watch 6 straight hours of Love is Blind. And I drank the whole tall boy fairly quickly, like within the first hour and a half, probably. I like drank the whole tall boy and I was fucking feeling it. And like it's just beer. Like you feel like it shouldn't like fuck you up. We have this idea about beer. Like it's not going to fuck you up, but like 2 pitchers in 2 hours?
I'd be wrecked. I don't have a tolerance for beer. I don't know why it like fucks me up more than other stuff.
I don't have it very much, so I think maybe that's why.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. So after the 2 pitchers in 2 hours, we decided to go find a pack of cigarettes. We conveniently end up at a bodega under his apartment.
Conveniently. I also
that was planned.
I'm telling you, 2 pitchers of beer. Are you peeing every 5 minutes? Because I fucking would be.
Literally.
Yes, beer makes me pee like nothing else. Like there's nothing else that makes me pee like that.
And every 3 minutes, like this is not going to go well. Is she going to pee on him or something? Because this is what I feel like. This, if I was in this story, I'd have peed my pants by now.
I feel like you've peed your pants on several occasions, according to this podcast. I mean, so maybe it doesn't take that much, is all I'm saying.
Okay. Shame receipt time. That's true. I have a very small bladder and like I'm very sensitive to liquids and the amount of beer that we're talking about here. I'm like, do I have to pee right now? Actually,
beer is different too. Like it's like. It is a different kind of pee urgency that happens whenever you are drinking beer.
So right.
I don't know what it is.
Wine?
Yeah.
Wine,
yeah.
You can hold it for a while.
Yeah, you're like, I can hold this down and then like leave in a classy way where I'm just like, pardon me, excuse me, I need to use the powder room. But if you fucking are drinking beer, you're like I'm gonna pee like a racehorse. It's an emergency.
Listen,
I
gotta go to the pisser.
Yeah, I gotta piss. Bye.
Look, I've given birth to 2 live children. I coughed today and pissed myself a little, okay? So I don't want to fucking talk about it.
There you go. That is real life. Okay.
Real talk. Real talk. All right, so they're at the bodega under his apartment.
Conveniently.
On accident. Conveniently. Right, okay. And decided to smoke a pack up on his porch. How did that conversation go? Like he's like, oh, what's this? Oh, what's this? My apartment just happens to be upstairs. Maybe we should smoke our cigarettes on my balcony. How strange. What a crazy random happenstance.
Weird.
Sir.
This fucking asshole.
My God.
At his apartment, we continued drinking and decided it was a good idea to take shots? ?
Oh,
it wasn't a good idea.
It was not.
It wasn't.
Thank you.
No.
That reminded me so much of the Ron Howard narration for Arrested Development. You're like, spoiler alert, it was not a good idea.
It was not.
It was not.
Pause. Everyone pause. It was not a good idea. And she says, in parentheticals, let me remind you, it is like 6:37 p.m.
Hey.
It's 7 p.m. You have 2 pitchers of beer and shots. Honey.
You're not going to any holiday parties.
Pump them brakes.
Or if you
the sun's not even down yet.
If you are going to holiday parties, shit's about to go. Like, if that's where you start, your finish line has just gone to a place no man has gone before. This is like
it's dangerous.
Picard territory that you're in right now.
You're on the SS
Shit
Enterprise.
is dangerous. That's right.
You are on the SS Enterprise. So true.
After a couple of shots, we started making out on his couch. I told him I didn't want to hook up or do anything further. He said this was okay. We continued making out, and next thing I know, he picks me up and fireman throws me over his shoulder and starts carrying me to his bedroom. Pause. That would be hot if you hadn't already told him that you didn't want to hook up. Like, you said you didn't want to hook up. So at that point, I'm like, where are you taking me? Sir, put me down.
Okay.
First
of all, tiny girls. If someone ever fireman picks me up, I'm a lot of woman.
Maybe they're really tall, Christina.
Kind of tall, kind of big. I'm like, I have never dated a guy that can fucking fireman pick me up. And if that's the case, I'm sorry, like all bets are off. That's hot as fuck. Oh my God. But no, she said no.
You know what? You killed
that's not cool, but oh my God.
You killed The Rock last week, and he could have fireman picked you up. I'm just saying.
Hell yeah, I could have.
Oh,
you have to reevaluate your decision.
You're so right. I picked Morgan Freeman. I was listening to that back. I was like, what the fuck was I thinking?
None of us know.
You did.
None of us know.
You did.
I don't know.
It's a mystery to everyone.
Spur of the moment. It literally.
Worsty Nation is scratching their head. They were fucking confused.
Like,
for sure.
What?
Okay.
Okay. He drops me on his bed and we continue to make out. He goes to take off my clothes and I emphasize we are not hooking up. In my drunk mind, I'm thinking, he deserves some titties. So I let him take off my shirt. We continue to make out and roll around. We take a pause and I'm lying there shirtless and he takes his, is this Yuengling? I know this is a kind of beer.
Yeah,
Yuengling.
it's from Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Okay, that kind of beer. And he, it's from where?
Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
I think she paused.
You cut out. Sorry.
Yeah,
so he takes it and he, all caps, pours it on my tits.
Well, no. What? Wow. Okay.
I was shook. I told him to clean it up, but he just sat there laughing. I said again, wipe it off, and he continued to laugh. So I did what any reasonable beer-soaked person would do and rolled over and dried myself off on his comforter.
Yep,
that's
he
right.
proceeded that's right. I told you to fucking go get me a towel.
Yeah.
The fuck? What are you doing? He proceeded to start yelling and said, all caps, "What the fuck, cunt?"
Okay. Oh, fucking K. Okay.
Yeah. This isn't the time to whip out the C word, sir.
I've
Wow.
actually, I'm shocked that I've never been called the C word as much times as I've probably earned it. But
I've never been called it. And you know what? I don't even think I've ever really honestly heard anybody use it in like an actual insulting way. I've heard people joke with that word, but I've never, I think it would be shocking to me if someone ever directed it at me in like a meaning to insult me. You know what I mean?
I think I would pay a lot of money to be a fly on the wall to watch you be in that girl's situation, have somebody call you a cunt, Keegan. Because the look on your face that I'm imagining right now is
Fire.
priceless.
Flames.
That is
Flames.
a level of anger that I don't think I've ever seen in this lifetime.
Well,
Yikes.
I know we're going to talk about this at the end of this episode, but when I was watching Tiger King, Anthony, because there's a part in that, listeners, where there is some misogyny happening in that show.
Is this
to
going to be our
such a
next
degree.
special episode? I think we should do another.
It can be.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Girl,
but,
you
but
need to
there is
start
so
watching, Cassie. I swear to God.
I didn't think I had to because I listened to the podcast, but now I have to.
I was texting you guys like furiously. Like I was like so shook, not just about the whole thing, but that part in particular where like,
Girl,
this fucking asshole
it gets
was like
worse.
such a piece of shit. I know.
It gets worse.
I'm watching it tonight. I know. But anyway, yes, you're right. If somebody fucking said, I truly, literally don't know how I would respond if someone said this to me non-ironically in a non-joking manner,
Right.
I
and
can't
called me the
imagine
C word.
Anthony pouring Yingling on you.
No, I'd be like, well, I mean, I guess I'm sleeping on the couch and you're sleeping in here because if it was all over our bed, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Absolutely
no.
not. I don't like mess.
hate it.
Didn't we just talk about how we're fucking like lazy at this shit at this point? I'm like, I am not trying to clean up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now
Like,
we
we're
gotta
not
do
bringing whipped
laundry?
cream into this. Exactly.
No.
And not only do you have to do laundry, you have to do laundry in like a separate laundry pile because it's just like you can't put like a beer soaked or like a whipped cream soaked sheet in with the rest of your laundry.
No, that's separate shit. Your bedclothes and stuff like that don't go in with your t-shirts and your pajama pants.
And now you're making
That's
me
right.
spend more money. Like I pay for my laundry.
Yeah, me too.
I would live in an apartment complex.
Ugh,
Sir.
this fucking
Absolutely
guy.
not. No.
I need to know what happens
This
next.
fucking guy. Anyway, it's his own comforter, which is why he called her a cunt. So, I said, well, I told you to clean it up. He started whining about his bed being wet with beer and that when I got up, and that is when I got up and put my shirt on and noped the fuck out of there. He still hits me up for a second date despite me not answering him. I am hoping I am the only girl he has poured beer on and called a cunt, but from his reaction, I seriously doubt it.
So true.
Fuck you.
Because people who throw that word around so loosely, like you for sure, like you clearly don't have an understanding of like the seriousness with which the rest of the world uses this word.
Well, then there's
or the rest of the states, I guess.
absolutely, and then there's other stuff too that's underneath that. If they are so cavalier with it, it's because they're in chat
Right.
rooms or other things with other really misogynistic, really fucking hateful people that use that word very loosely, and so it's like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, and this is
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like, and this is somebody you just. Oh no, you're good. You cut out, so I couldn't tell when you stopped talking. But this is also someone that you just met too. Like that's part of it. Where I'm just like, we've talked about that so many times. We just talked about that on our double date episode with Kelly with Boobies and Newbies, where it's just like you. And I understand they're fucking wasted. Clearly, they've been taking shots. They've been drinking beer, so maybe their level of like decision making is altered. Clearly, but also it's one of those things where it's just like if you're on a first date, or even if it's not a date like you were saying, Christina, it's just like a hey, let's get together because we're both bored situation. It's somebody new who you just fucking met,
right? And
it's just like for you to whip out something that potentially insulting is
so we got two things
shocking.
You can leave at home for a first date: parents and the C word.
Yeah, leave it at home. Also, don't pour your fucking beer on me. I'm not into it. If that's your kink, that's something that we need to talk about beforehand. I can work around it, but like you got to let me know. Gotta give me warning.
I'll tell you what. That makes me think like pouring liquids or whatever. I'm like, I bet he wants to pee on her.
Oh, I don't like that.
Not yucking anyone's yum.
I'm just saying.
Not yucking anyone's yum, but not for me.
He's just seeing how cool she is with it.
He saw her reaction. He's like, nope, not for you. Got it.
Baby step in there. How are you with beer? How are you with this candle?
Other yellow liquids.
But here's the thing, and I feel like people need to hear this, and that's that. And we've said it in so many words on this podcast before, but that's that, like, don't assume that people won't be into the thing that you're into. Yeah. Like, they might be. Like, they might be completely, totally cool with the thing that you want to do, but you gotta give somebody a heads up, okay?
You also just
you gotta fucking let them know.
The first date is
that it's coming.
It's just not the place to, like, go into that fucking blind. You have to build a foundation of trust first, and that's sometimes the problem, or what I found was the problem with online dating, is that people were jumping into bed so quickly. And I mean, I don't care so much about that, but it's like, if you want to do something that is quote unquote outside the box, I do feel like there has to be some sort of foundation of trust and a conversation or something there beyond just we met on an app and have been texting back and forth and laughed at the same meme, and now I want to pee on you. And it's like,
yes,
I might listen. This is gonna come out wrong, but whatever. I'm GGG. Thank you, Dan Savage. And to any Dan Savage listeners, if you don't listen to Savage Lovecast, it's a fucking incredible podcast, and I'll shout it out all day long. So if you want to do something like pee on me, like, fine, let's have a conversation about it. But I'm definitely not open really to that kind of conversation on a first date without some sort of foundation laid first.
Right. I mean, and that's what I was saying. It's just like, it might not be my thing, but for the right person, if I felt like I had some kind of like connection with you, I respect you as a human being. I know that this is like, I understand it in the context of who you are as a human being. Then I can be like, let me think about it. Let me figure out where I land on it. And let me sort out my true feelings about it, and we can have a conversation about it. But if you just, first of all, do it without consent, not okay.
Exactly.
Like, truly not okay. Especially since she made it very clear that she was, like, not wanting to engage in sex. Like, you know what I mean? And not that that's sex, but you, like, fucking let somebody know. That's what I'm saying. Have a conversation. That's all. Oh. Yeah. So thank you for writing into us. We appreciate your message.
And I have another one that wrote into us. The title is Perfection. It's called Shame Receipts All Around.
Oh, no.
Very good.
Okay. She says, I met this guy, let's call him Brad, at a ping pong tournament bar. I didn't know those.
I actually love that. I'm so craving social interaction right now that I would give anything for a ping pong bar. I'm like, please, God, I would fucking love it. I'm like, I was playing Wii bowling the other day, and I was like, God, I fucking wish we could bowl with other humans in a bowling alley.
That's how hard up we are, is that bowling sounds fun.
I would do it.
Oh, my God. She says, it's in the middle of Hollywood, and my friend was the person putting on the ping pong tournament. So my friend and I went to support him. Shockingly, it was pretty dead. This is pre-corona.
People had standards for social interaction.
We were pretty bored until frat bro number 1 and 2 walked in. At the time, that seemed like a good thing. Let's call guy number 1 Brad. Drinks later, we ended up at their buddy's house for a light makeout session. My friend and I crashed out, and the next morning, we found Brad completely naked in the bathtub.
Oh shit.
That's a shock in the morning when you're like, oh my God, I have to pee and I have a huge headache.
You have to do your morning pee. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The morning pee. You've got a headache. You're disoriented because you're not in your house.
Naked stranger. That's too much. She says, for some reason, I decided to continue to see this guy, even though he lived in Santa Barbara and I lived in North Hollywood.
Absolutely fucking not. That's a 2-hour drive. Oh, no. For a man who got naked the first time you met him in a bathtub?
I ghosted somebody that lived in Pasadena, and I live in West Hollywood. I was like, sorry. Things were going well. After some time, I met his mom, and we eventually sealed the deal. I was spending a weekend with him in Santa Barbara, and he mentioned he was going to be in LA the following weekend, but that he wasn't sure he could see me, something about a bros night in a party bus, and that he would do his best to come over. No worries, just keep me in the loop. He reminds me we aren't exclusive yet. I thought, well, that's a strange thing to say, but okay.
It's he's laying the foundation because he wants to bone somebody else.
That's exactly
what's happening.
Right.
Yeah. And also, like, anyways, I'll continue before we digress.
Red flags is all.
The weekend arrives and he starts off being normal and communicating, but then he becomes increasingly scarce to the point I'm a little worried. A whole weekend in LA with barely any communication. Monday finally arrives and he has some stupid story about why he couldn't communicate, but he is still being shady. Okay, so I'm assuming that when she says we finally make things official, or we finally seal the deal, that's what she said, that she's talking about saying like, okay, we're boyfriend, girlfriend. That's how we...
I was thinking seal the deal means
I thought
they had
sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know.
I'm like...
But he's saying they're not exclusive, so I don't know. I don't know what that means.
So they must not be boyfriend, girlfriend. It must be the way that you guys interpreted it as like they just did it, and
but she's met his parents, though.
Exactly. That's what's so confusing to me. I'm like, I'm not gonna, even just because I fucked you doesn't mean that I want to like spend time with your parents.
Definitely.
But also
not.
fucking red flag if a man unprompted, or woman, actually, if anybody that you're in a relationship with, didn't mean to be so heteronormative, like if anyone you're in a relationship with goes out of their way unprompted to be like, we ain't exclusive though, right before they go on a trip,
right?
It means they're trying to get some, like 100%. Like, because there's no reason why they'd bring it up.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no reason. Why would you bring it up?
Yeah.
And if you thought that this was like an understanding that you had, why would you need to bring it up? Like, it's just a weird, you know that they're trying to get it in. Yeah, if they say that.
Okay, so she goes on Facebook and there's about 100 pictures with him and some chick. Let's call her Katie. They are all over each other from this weekend. Now, it's one thing to date multiple people and be open about it. It's another to be on social media with both girls and vomit PDA pics of you and the other girl. Of course, I was my own Captain Snoopy Pants and looked all into this girl, a hairdresser based in LA. She was gorgeous. No hate on her. I'm sure she didn't know about me at all. So I'm devastated.
It wasn't me.
Cassie.
It wasn't me.
No, I'm so confused because I'm like, it's the whole meet his mom thing that threw me off because I'm just like, are they boyfriend, girlfriend, or did they just like sleep together? But like, regardless, like, I've been really like cryptic social media wise posting, and I was definitely very like, I ain't posting shit online. That's a whole nother level. That is official with a capital O when you post shit online.
I agree. Yeah, and it's weird to me that he would post this many pictures with somebody when he was dating somebody else.
Yeah.
It's bold.
It's very bold. Or just very
bold move,
like
Cotton.
Clueless. Either bad. But so she says, so I'm devastated and rip him a new one via text about how classless that was, and he couldn't have just said he wasn't feeling it anymore. P.S. Why introduce me to your mom? Exactly.
Thank you.
That's a big one.
So, fast forward several months. Obviously over him and have moved on at the time, and I worked at the Cheesecake Factory. I went to the bar to pick up my table's drinks when lo and behold, Katie is sitting at the bar.
Oh no. Oh no. She said shame receipts all around, so this is about to get bad.
Yeah. Enter stalker version of myself.
Oh no.
We've all been there.
I say, are you Katie? She, confused looking, says, yeah, me. And you're a hairdresser, right?
Oh my God. It sounds so crazy.
Yeah, do I know you? Me. No, and I don't really know you either. But I know of you because I was dating Brad.
No.
And then he posted a whole bunch of pictures with you on Facebook, and that's how I learned we were no longer dating. Poor girl was so awkward. She was like, oh, sorry. I told her no shade on her. She didn't know about me. It was just a shitty way to find out, and her face had stuck in my mind. She said they were no longer dating, and I told her I was sorry to hear that, but that maybe both of us are better off. My drinks were ready, so I delivered them to my table and did my rounds. A few moments later, I came back to the bar for more drinks, and Katie was gone.
Yeah, she's like, goodbye.
The bartender said she couldn't run fast enough to get away. Sorry, Katie, didn't mean to scare you.
Oh no.
But you know what? I have to say this though, is like that could have gone one of two ways. It could have gone the way it went, where shit well, actually it could have gone one of three ways. It could have gone the way it went, where shit was like awkward. It could have gone a way where it was like Amber from Love is Blind and she was still with Brad and now she wants to murder you. Or it could have ended the third and best way, where you two become best friends now.
She's like, fuck Brad. Yeah, I hate him.
Yeah, where you guys are both like, yeah, fuck Brad, let's do shots. And now you're best friends. And you're friends to this day. It just happened to not go that way.
There's more.
Oh no.
Wait. Oh no. Okay.
Moments later, I get a text from Bathtub Brad.
No.
Katie must have texted him. He texted me how much he missed her and asked me what he should do. What the fuck are you asking me dating advice for with the girl you left me for?
What?
I told him that he should tell her how much he misses her and try to work it out. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Spoiler alert.
She's so nice.
It was not. She was not interested. I felt bad that Katie probably thought I was a psycho, but when you're Captain Snoopy Pants, sometimes you remember faces. LOL. Oh my God.
No. Oh,
I actually fucking love everything about that story. That's hilarious. I mean, it's not. I don't love everything about it, but it is really funny.
The other day, so Eric's been moving in, and so he's got like a bunch of hard drives, and he was showing me pictures of his mom and all kinds of things, and there were pictures of his ex-girlfriend on there. And I was like, I felt like Captain Snoopy Pants at that moment because I was like memorizing everything about her face.
Yes.
And
every detail.
And then I kind of felt bad because like at the end of seeing it, like I said a couple of things. And then I was like, oh, and I kind of feel bad, but is it like terrible that I feel amazing that I'm so much hotter than your ex?
Oh. No is the answer. I knew what you were about to say before you said it, and the answer is fucking no. We all do that. That is fucking human nature. Every single one of us does that, where we look at it like my ex. You better believe, and I don't really care if anybody judges me for this. You better believe after we broke up and he started dating somebody else that like I went to her Facebook and like scrolled late night in bed, hair scarf on, scrolled through all of her profile pictures.
Oh yeah.
And like looked at her and I was just like, yeah, I'm hotter. We all do that. We all do that comparison for better or for worse. Whether it's healthy or not is highly debatable, but it's like a human response. It's very, very normal.
One of my favorite things from Sex and the City ever, it's a very small part, but it's when Carrie is so upset about Big leaving her for Natasha. And she's just, she's having lunch with her girlfriends. And she's like, Natasha, what kind of bullshit name is Natasha? Which is so stupid.
I totally remember that episode.
And they just agree with her. They're like, oh yeah, totally. You know what I mean? And
that's what girlfriends are for. So yes, because obviously Natasha's a perfectly fine name. If your name is Natasha, it's a beautiful name. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's what you do. If you're hurting... Yeah, if you're hurting, it doesn't matter. Like, for instance, my ex, the girl that he dated after me, she had like curly red hair. And I think our friend Amy, her hair was beautiful. Like, honestly, I look at it and I'm like, no, her hair is actually gorgeous. Looks like Merida from Brave. Yeah. Oh. But like our friend, who was like my best friend, she like came to me and was like, God, her hair's like so stupid. Like, you know, like she just like would say things to me that I'm just like, yeah, you're right. It is stupid. And like looking back, I'm like, no, it's not stupid. She's got beautiful hair. But like,
that's what you do.
You just find things. Yeah, you find things to bond over and like be pissed about.
Oh God. Okay. Well, are you guys ready for my crazy in love story?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm so ready.
Okay.
Ready. I sound like all slurry from wine.
I'm so ready. All right. So my story, I don't know if you guys have heard this story or not, but it's, listen, I was trying to think of something like, oh, like Keegan, like you did last week, that was like distant and far away and didn't feel like it had an impact on today. And unfortunately, that is not the direction I went.
That's okay. We have to keep being who we are during this quarantine. We can't let it change us.
This is a semi-current story. And it is an important story.
Oh.
And I don't know that you guys know it. Maybe, Keegan, you might, because maybe it's something you might have covered on Angry Neighborhood Feminists. But
oh no, which means it's going to be terrible.
It's not great.
I mean, sad, not a bad story.
It's not great. It's not good. So I got a lot of my information on True Crime Daily, a story or an article written by Narissa Knight. I initially found this story from a Sundance channel, had Love and Hate Crimes. It's a BBC 3 story.
Yikes.
And
oh no.
Yeah, it's not good. Sorry, guys. Love and Hate Crimes. Not bueno. No bueno. So here we go. Sorry.
Stop apologizing.
No, it's gonna be great.
Christina, stop laughing. I can tell you're like uncomfortable already and you're laughing.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm waiting until you're done laughing.
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So on May 30th, 2015, Mercedes Williamson, 17 years old, is walking along the parkway when she is spotted by her recent ex-boyfriend, Josh Vallum. Vallum pulls over, invites Mercedes in to get in, and it's like, hey, we're going over to my dad's house. They're having a cookout, and I want to have some sex. And she was like, okay, fine. So she hops in the car. The two of them, it's like, you know, the last time they'd seen each other, or this is, has been months, but she was like, cool, sounds good, hops in. This is the last time anybody sees Mercedes. So.
Oh, no. I think I do know this story.
You might. 2 days later, on June 1st, in George County, Mississippi Sheriff's Office gets a call from, or the sheriff, or Captain Ben Brown gets a call from Josh's father, Josh Vallum's father, saying he believes his son has murdered someone, and he is under the impression that the body is on his property. On June 2nd, they arrive to the property to the smell of rotting flesh and a partially decomposed body, which is obscured by tree debris in the wooded area behind the house. At the time, the face is so badly decomposed. This is only 2 days. Imagine June in Mississippi, hot.
Yeah, but still, 2 days. That's very fast.
The body is so decomposed, though, that the face is completely unidentifiable.
No.
So all they can tell is that she's got flip-flops on, toenails painted. That's about as much as they can truly tell from the body at this point. The morgue report, though, when they take the body in, the morgue report comes back, and the body is identified as 17-year-old Michael Wilkins. Mercedes, as she had come to be known, had transitioned from Michael at the age of 14, and it was now clear that the body they had found was of that transgender teen, Mercedes, that was missing.
I know this story too now.
It's pretty fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Go for it.
Mercedes.
I'm really glad you're doing this, actually. I'm really glad you're doing this.
I am too.
I said it's terrible, but it is important. I think it's an important story.
Yes, you are correct.
Mercedes first met Josh, 28 at the time, Josh was, on Facebook, and eventually in real life, she's 17. He's 28. I just want to point that out again, because technically she's a
already, again, this is something that is problematic that I feel like happens a lot. And we actually talk a lot as like grown women. I've seen it a lot in girl groups I'm in on Facebook. I think it's been brought up in our own Facebook group where this was a fairly common phenomenon. Most women remember a time when they were teenagers when they were being hit on by men who were a lot older and they felt very flattered by that attention. Because it made you feel like a grown-up. It made you feel like a grown woman. Like, I know at 17, if a 28-year-old guy was interested in me, it would have meant to me that I was like, oh, I must be really mature.
Yeah, right.
For him to be, like, interested in me, I must be, like, such a woman, such an adult. When in reality, the kind of personality that goes after teenagers as a grown man is like it's a red flag. Yeah, that's a concern.
It is a red flag, absolutely. So again, he's 28 years old, which is fucking wild. According to her aunt, Kathy Mangan, they had a relationship going on dates to movies, out to eat. Josh, in the interview from when they interviewed him, had said that she, they had, they'd been seeing each other or whatever, but he said she was really shy at first, and he was like, oh, you can sit by me, like I guess probably like any 17-year-old girl would be at that point. And so but her relatives seemed to know about it and had said that their relationship was going out to movies, like I said, going out to eat, very boyfriend girlfriend relationship. The couple had even hung out with friends, and there's even a photo of him with his friends and them together at a beach party.
I just have to say, like, I don't know. It's hard to ride this line because I don't know. But I have to say, if I had a friend who was 28 and they brought around their girlfriend and she was 17, I'd be like, I am concerned.
I think even our guy friends would be like, say what?
I just, there's no way, as like a full grown adult, the idea of dating a 17-year-old is so like,
no, I know,
absolutely fucking not, that I just can't imagine if someone in our friend group were to bring around a teenager that any of us would be like, this is fine.
This is fine. It's not. Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, every case is different and who knows? So I don't know.
And maybe he didn't even disclose her age, and maybe it was just like, this is my girlfriend, and that wasn't even brought up. Who knows?
Yeah, and maybe she seems very mature. Like, who knows?
Exactly. But not long after that photo was taken, the two of them broke up. It's then several months later, that's when, according to Josh, he happened to just run across Mercedes walking on Dauphin Island. Upon discovery of the body, though, at Josh's dad's house, Josh's dad brought him to the police station to turn himself in. So this all happens very quickly. The body, he had talked to his dad, and his dad was like, turned him in. And then he was like, we need to take your ass to the police station. Like, you need to come clean with what you've done. So kudos for his dad for fucking being like, this needs to get taken care of. According to Josh's statement, he had said basically, when he saw her, he was horny. He wanted to have sex. And he said that until this point, they had only made out. That he had, and thought, well, maybe she's a virgin because they hadn't, sealed the deal. According to him, he's like, I'm just getting blowjobs and making out with her. So, but when he saw her, he was like, this is the time. Even though we've been broken up, I want to have sex with her. And tonight's the night. So
this sounds like the most immature 28-year-old I've ever fucking heard of.
100%.
Like, this is why you go after 17-year-olds, is because your maturity level is at a fucking 0.
Thank you.
Because what the fuck is that?
Absolutely.
Well, what it is it sounds fake, is what it sounds like. On that evening, on the way to his dad's house, Mercedes asks him if this is a setup. This is something that Josh tells the police in the interview that she said, which is suspicious in and of itself. Like, why would she even suggest that it might be a setup, right?
A man who's never watched a single episode of Forensic Files in his entire life.
Girl, isn't that right? Josh insists he's just wanting to hang out and hook up for the first time. Josh accounts that they were making out, and he goes to put his hand between her legs, and he felt her penis. He says that's when it happened. After that, he completely blacks out, goes a bit
Transpanic
foggy.
defense.
Yes. But he stabs her with a knife multiple times. She runs into the woods, and where he finds a hammer in his trunk, which, okay, you took the time to open your trunk and find that. Okay. Blacked out. Chases her into the woods, chases her down, beating her to death. These statements are contested, of course, by Mercedes' best friend, who she's living with at the time, Destiny Allen. She states that they had sex all the time. Every time they hung out, they had sex. She claims that Josh would even tell her, you can only imagine all the things I've done to Michael, in quotes, because that's what she still called her. Also stating that they had told each other, I love you on multiple occasions. So, this was not just some like passing,
fling.
Yeah, quiet thing that nobody heard about.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2016, though, when he goes to the courts, Josh pleaded guilty to keep any of the stories out of the court because he is also a member of the Latin Kings. He's part of this gang and pretty high up in this gang, a gang that forbids gay relationships and can be punishable within the organization by death.
Masculinity's so fucking fragile.
Oh.
Like, this kind of goes back to your story,
hey guys.
like your worst date story, where it's just like, I don't understand everybody else's fucking fixation with what other people do in their personal lives.
Right.
Why the fuck does it matter to you? Why is it a reflection on you or your organization or whatever the fuck else? Like, what somebody chooses to do, who they choose to sleep with or who they choose to love. Like, I don't understand. It's such a backwards, archaic fucking mentality.
It really is. And the idea too, and I think that just the idea of being in a gang, it's like one thing to have your family disappointed in you, but your family is like your chosen, or a gang is like your chosen family, right? So then you also have this added layer, and it's, absolutely, it's within their guidelines, like the Latin kings, like in their thing. So apparently, upon introduction of Mercedes to the fellow kings, one of them teased him about her, quote, broad shoulders and, quote, Adam's apple after receiving a late sentence or a life sentence, for the murder. Federal prosecutors then decide, though, to bring additional charges under the 2009 Hate Crimes Act. In May 2017, he pleaded guilty, admitting that he had consensual sex and he had kept it secret. Amongst the evidence was nearly 100 images of naked men, as well as gay porn on his phone. He had admitted that he killed her because his friends had found out that she was transgender. Outside of his testimony, though, he vehemently denies this story. On the actual show, he's like, no, they're making that stuff up. I only said that stuff so that I didn't have to bring the gang members into this.
I have to be honest, not that I'm trying to feel any sympathy for this person, because fuck this person's a piece of shit asshole. We know that. But there is something that is so sad and heartbreaking that your culture of this toxic masculinity homophobia runs so deep that you, even in this very extreme circumstance and situation, you can't be honest about it. To me, that there's something so damaged about that human being, and that makes me sad. And I think that that's an indictment on our culture and on our society. It's so sad that people feel this way. You know what I mean?
He actually even starts and that's the actual show, the show on Sundance, the Love and Hate Crimes. He starts the show by saying, he's like, I feel guilty about this, so much guilt that he actually tried to commit suicide when he was in prison. He says he's haunted by her. He wakes up, she haunts him in his dreams. He tried to hang himself in prison. He said that he would trade his life for hers. And the reason he says he would trade his life for hers is because he knows that he's right with God now, and can admit whatever he did or whatever, but she knows that he killed her and she isn't right with God because of who she is. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, you piece of shit.
That's some mental gymnastics that he's doing to justify his behavior. That's all that is. And I don't know. It's, to me, you're right. You texted us earlier talking about this, and it's just truly sad all around. It's sad in every way you look at it, because it's of course devastating for her. She's the victim, and she gets all of our heart and all of our sympathy. Mm-hmm. And it's devastating for her family. It's sad for him.
It is that
this is fucking the reality that he's chosen.
Well, the
life that he's feeling like he needs to adhere to. It's sad.
The other side of the coin to that is that he is so fucked up about the way he feels that he's, he wants to tell his dad, they're making this shit up. This is, all false. Those, porn things on my phone, that's not even real. I think it says a lot that he's more concerned about the way that people think about him possibly being homosexual is more
and being a murderer
to him than the thought of his dad seeing him as a murderer, or his friend seeing him as a murderer.
Shameless plug, but Your Angry Neighborhood Feminist, my other podcast, we did a whole episode on toxic masculinity and the ways in which it damages not only society at large, but also young men in particular. And this is a huge part of that. There's a really good documentary called, I think it's called The Mask We Live In, I think is what it's called. Basically completely on the subject of toxic masculinity and the ways that it negatively affects young men. And this is part of it. It's just
Absolutely.
We accept that young men are supposed to be violent, or they're permitted to be violent, and that's just part of who they are, and so we almost glorify that.
It's that boys will be boys mentality,
right? So it is more acceptable to be a murderer or somebody who's enacted this incredibly like violent reaction, than it is to have a sexuality that is deemed weak. You know what I mean? Or any behaviors that are deemed to be weaker. Like that is it's okay to be a murderer, but it's not okay to be gay. And like that is so fucking like deeply upsetting.
All right. So I think, like I said, it says a lot that he's more concerned, again, with the way people feel about him being a homosexual versus the way that people feel about him being gay, being a murderer. I think that says a lot about our society. It says a lot about where he was in his own headspace. He is, though, the first person to be convicted of a hate crime of a transgender person. This is in 2017, and he was the first person to be, I know. So, and here's the thing, you guys, at the end of the day, why I say this is not just, it's a sad story. It's a shameful story. But to consider where we are at 2020, and we're just now treating transgender people as, I don't know, fucking people. Mm-hmm. And
kind of like not even really. I mean, like that's the thing too, is when you really look, not to be like a huge bummer, but like when you look at the statistics though, it's still the way that we handle these cases is still so primitive and like extremely upsetting. And we talk on my other show a lot about like intersectionality and the ways in which those like dynamics work and play out. And for especially trans women of color, they're at so many different intersections of oppression that the way that they're treated is devastating.
Yeah. It's far worse. Far worse for someone who is in that position. Far worse.
Well, and to bring it into now, this is why what we say matters so much, because like you said, Cassie, it's like this guy thought so much that it was much better life for him to be thought of as a murderer than to be thought of as a homosexual. It's like why we can't call it the Chinese virus, because the amount of people that are like the xenophobia that it's causing, and it's like what you say matters, and it manifests itself into this kid Joseph, who grew up thinking it's so not okay for me to be gay that if anyone finds out, it's so much better if I like just deny. It's like all this stuff builds up.
And to the point, like I said, where he in court, it just full out admits all of this just so quote unquote, he doesn't have to go to trial and have all these people come in and be like, no, you were clearly having sex with her all this time. You clearly knew who she was.
Yep.
He doesn't want any of that to come out, especially now that he's in prison.
Right.
And he's got fucking, Latin kings in there who will fucking kill him.
Yeah.
Very likely.
Oh,
or
it's
possibly.
Terrible.
I don't know, Latin kings. Don't come at me.
And
please.
It's please. It's so multifaceted as well, because it's not just it's an example of a certain kind of culture. Like I can speak to Black culture and it being so homophobic in like so many ways, and that plays itself out in a lot of minority cultures. I feel like it comes from this place of like, life is already so hard for you, don't make it harder or whatever. That's I think that's part of that.
That was my mom. Like my mom is white and my little brother is white, and that was her fucking thing with my brother when he came out, was that exact sentence that you just said. Life is already hard enough, don't make it harder. And I'm like, if that's our white experience, like I can imagine it being however many folds for a minority experience.
Yeah, of course. It's like, why are you putting more obstacles in your way?
Right.
I think that like exists. And then in our culture, on a larger, grander scale, there's this idea that violence is okay, but sex is not.
Violence.
And like sexuality is not. There's this puritanical view that we have of our culture that I think exists. We see it in movies all the time where it's just like you can have a PG-13 movie where like people are literally ripping each other's arms off and like that's fine. But the second somebody says fuck 2 times, it's a rated R movie. Or the second boobs come out, or, you know, like any of those things. If there's any nudity, then all of a sudden it's like an NC-17 situation.
Right, taboo.
And like that's part of the fabric of our culture. There's all these things at play that make it where our idea of like sexuality is so warped and like fucked up, you know, and it's really depressing. Criminal had a really good episode, and there's one of those cases that's actually on my list to do. It's been on my list for a long time. It's what I was going to do last week, Cassie, but then I was like, no, don't do it.
Of course, I bring in sad. I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's okay. But Criminal actually has a very good episode where they talk about trans panic, gay panic defenses, and how these things still they're still being used in courts of law, where they're like, I don't know, I blacked out, I freaked out, and that is crazy.
Well, and I think that's why this is such an important case to look at, because trans panic is not a defense. It's not a fucking defense. And regardless, like, and I don't believe it was trans panic. I believe that you fucking knew exactly who you were trying to sleep with. I think you had slept with this person multiple times. I think that this couldn't have been the first time you put your hand between this person's legs.
Right.
If you'd been seeing each other for months. I think you were scared that your gang knew and found out.
Yeah, it's internalized homophobia and transphobia. Like, that's what that is. But it's internalized. It's like we see these things all the time. They happen all the time. Again, in that, I highly recommend people go find that Criminal episode, because they bring up a lot of good examples of that, where it's this thing where you have willingly engaged in this relationship, and then you have so much self-loathing and internalized homophobia that you cannot deal with yourself and like with the people who are around you, and so you take out that violence on somebody else.
Just seeing who my baby brother gets to be now, from moving from Ohio to the heart of Boys Town in West Hollywood, and we've talked about it at great length, and just like how good he feels that he gets to be more of himself than he's ever been in his fucking life, that he can hold hands with the man that he loves on the street. And I mean, it's
and not think twice about it.
It's these small things that add up, that build these fucking things around you that I can't speak to. It's not been my experience, but I can't imagine what that would be like to not feel like you can truly be yourself at any point, that you're always on guard. And
that's truly why this story is so sad on every level.
Well, that's why it's important.
Like, it's why it's sad on every level. It's sad, of course, for the victim. I know I just said this, but it's sad for him too, because it's like, this clearly comes from such a place of never being able to be who you are.
Right.
And you still feel like you can't be who you are, and you have to defend yourself in all of these, like, you have to do all this mental gymnastics to justify yourself. Yeah. It's sad.
I mean,
all of it's really sad.
Listen, I will be honest with you. I couldn't even find a podcast that has covered the story, which I think is shocking, to say the least. I mean, I don't know if 3 cisgender women are the right people to tell this story, but I do know that this is an important fucking story, and it's sad, and it shouldn't be happening, and people need to know about it. And finally, we are getting some justice for, you know, people who, you know, are trying to live their lives who they are. And, you know, people are finally coming to justice for crimes against transgender people. And I think that that's important.
Yeah. And what we can say about it, Cassie, as like 3 cisgender women with a platform, is go and do some reading about this yourself. Go educate yourself about this, because it happens so much more than you think it does. Specifically, trans women of color are murdered at a disproportionately higher rate, and largely when they are murdered, it is due to the fact that they are trans. It is sexual violence. So what we can say and what we can use our platform for is, no, we're not authorities on this subject, but go and do your own research. I hope it opens people's eyes to how prevalent this is and how devastating it is. I think it's really important. I'm really glad you brought it up.
Yeah.
Cassi.
What I want to end this on is to say just a few words about Mercedes. Mercedes was someone who wanted to enter the field of cosmetology, and she wanted to move to Los Angeles and live her dream as being a hairstylist and a makeup artist for movie stars, and that's all she ever wanted in her life. And as a fellow hairstylist, as somebody who feels like I live the best career ever, it breaks my heart that she couldn't fulfill and live out that dream. And it means a lot to me to tell her story, because she didn't get to live the life that she deserved. And I want people to know who Mercedes was and who Mercedes could have been. Mercedes could have been somebody like myself who gets to change people's lives on a daily basis. And we touch people, and it's very different. And it's a human experience that no one can ever relate to. I mean, I talk to hairdressers all the time, and what we do is it sounds so trivial, and it sounds very Zoolander to say that you change people's lives when you do hair, but we touch people. And I say this a lot when I teach classes. We are sometimes the only people who touch certain people in their entire lives. They may go home and they may never have human interaction with other people, and touching other humans is so important. And being a hairdresser, if you are one, I love you. I love hairdressers, and I'm sad. I'm sad that Mercedes didn't get to experience her life.
Well, and again, I think it takes a certain kind of person, and I think it speaks to the kind of person that she was. Like, she was a person who wanted to interact with people. She wanted to be close to people. And, you know, unfortunately, I think sometimes people who are very open and gregarious and sweet, they're sometimes the victims of this kind of crime, this kind of violence, because they are so open to being touched by other people.
Yeah.
You know,
I couldn't agree more. I think that there is a certain openness that you have to have. And, you know, a willingness to, at any rate, I didn't want to end that on a sad note. My point was that Mercedes, bless up, girl.
Yeah. Thank you, Cassi. I think that I'm so happy that you did this story. I think it's really important that people hear these stories, because, you know, as like fucked up as it is, there are still people who don't see people in the LGBTQ community as people. And we need to put these stories in the forefront so that people can understand the humanity here. Yeah. You know, it's important.
Yeah. And especially right now with everything going on, you know, I know that the hairdressing community, along with the hospitality community, along with everybody, a lot of people right now, we're struggling. So I'm glad that you brought that up. I'm glad that you mentioned it, because
I know last week, Christina, and this isn't not to negate what you've said last week about the hospitality industry. It's so hard hit. I think that
but I consider hairdressers to be hospitality.
Well, you know what? Anybody that's doing guest services, which is part of what we do, absolutely. Yeah. And I think the guest service community is getting hit harder than any community because of our interaction with people. And I think that one of the things that we really have to take note about is that, you know, especially when we're considering our lawmakers making decisions for us, that especially in the hairdressing community, we're very concerned about what gets passed because most hairdressers are self-owned small businesses and they don't get unemployment.
Right.
They don't get the benefits of having an employer-based system. They're working for themselves. And these are small businesses that live sometimes paycheck to paycheck.
Yep.
And can't afford to have a week out.
Yep.
These people don't take vacations. And many of them just don't have what it takes. I mean, I was a single mom myself, raising a son, living in low income housing. I mean, I know this story. I've lived this life. And, you know, I'm so blessed and lucky and fortunate to be in the type of position I am now in my career where I'm working and still can be working from home, but this is not the life and this is not how most hairdressers are. And, you know,
yep.
So anyway, my heart's with all my hairdressing community. I love you guys. And, what a way to end it. Sorry, guys. Let's talk about something.
Yeah. Let's talk about what we're watching this week. I think.
Okay, we've been holding on to this for like the entire episode, but Christina and I, listen. We started watching Tiger King, or I started watching Tiger King. I don't know if Christina's done.
I'm at the end of episode 4, so I'm not.
Wow. I watched the first 2. I'm getting ready to start the 3rd episode. I have feelings about this show, and I made a Facebook post yesterday where I was just like, man, y'all are making us cat people like look bad. And some people commented and they were like,
it's not cat people at all.
Well, I don't know though, because listen, some of these people started out as cat people and then shit got out of hand fast. Okay, Carol, shit got out of hand real fast. She's like, oh, my pictures of me with kittens when I was a kid. And I'm like, that could be me. And then all of a sudden she's like gone completely off the rails. It's like all these fucking people.
Did you ever know anybody growing up that had wildcats?
No, and thank God for it too. And thank God for it too. I had no idea. Like, I had heard that statistic that there are more animals in captivity, more tigers in captivity than there are in the wild. I had heard that a while back, and that bums me out in a way I can't fully articulate. It's so wrong. All the pictures
I will say
the tigers.
Yeah, I will say this. This show, it is hard to watch. Like I texted you guys. I was literally 10 minutes in and I was like, I'm furious. Like, I'm already fucking furious because, like, trigger warning, 10 minutes in, the way he gets involved in doing this documentary is he meets a man who's keeping a snow leopard in his van in the summer with the doors
in
closed.
Like fucking and he's Louisiana
like,
or
refrigerated
something.
Yeah, it's in like Florida or some shit. And he's like, doesn't this need to be a refrigerated truck? And they're like, he's acclimated to it. It's fine. And I'm like, it's a snow leopard.
It's like, so fucked up, honestly.
It's so infuriating. And, you know, I keep trying to tell Anthony because he's like, what the fuck with these people? And I'm like, I mean, to be honest, I get it. I understand the allure of, like, I love animals. I fucking love animals. And I get the allure of, like, being near to them and being able to interact with them and, like, that feeling. I understand it. But, like, I would never engage in this kind of activity because it's
if horrifying. You really love something, though, you don't need to own it. And furthermore, you wouldn't want to own and control it. You would want it to be free and living its best life. And that doesn't matter if it's a tiger or a person or anything else. So fuck all of these people. Honestly,
you're absolutely right.
Every single person in this episode, even the ones that quote unquote pretend to be helping,
Yeah,
because they're fucking
Carol,
not.
I'm looking at you.
I'm looking at Carol too.
Because it's all
Fuck Carol, I'm looking at you.
It's,
all of them.
It's true that like it may come from a place of wanting to help, but at the end of the day, it seems so self-serving.
Exactly.
It feels self-serving. It's like you found a way to help that also fulfills your need to interact with these creatures. Like that's what it is. Is like you want to help, but you also don't want to give up your ability to like be close to these
make
animals.
money.
And I'm like.
Money.
Yes, and make money.
Yeah.
And make money. Yeah. And but I will tell you, this shit is what hold on. I saved something because Hannah from Boozy Movies, so that's another podcast. She's hilarious, she's wonderful, she's so funny. But she made a post on Twitter and it's Stefan, which is like
it has everything.
And she wrote a post that's like, this doc has everything. Baby tigers, mullets, arms getting ripped off, murder for hire, low budget music videos, Florida, people with no teeth, Vegas jungle buses, and a fat guy riding a jet ski to Eye of the Tiger. And I'm like,
so good.
Yes. Dude, the memes are
wild,
out of control. They're so good.
It is the one you sent, Cassie, where it was like piercers are having anxiety over Joe Exotic's like upper eyelid eyebrow piercing. I'm like, what's happening? There's so much to talk about. It's like
Joe. Where to begin?
I'm shook.
Joe
about
Exotic
it. Like,
is a whole mood. He's a whole mood.
What about that dude? Like, what about that kid? Like that teenage kid that he married? And like in all the clips of that kid, I'm like, that kid does not look like he wants to be there. Like literally 0%.
No.
Even at his own wedding, I'm like, that kid doesn't want to be there at all. Please let him go home.
When they talk about, which I guess maybe this might be a spoiler alert for you guys, but did they talk yet about the food? Where they're feeding, like how they're feeding
on the
them?
fucking trucks?
No,
like the expired
the Walmart
meat
trucks, the Walmart expired meat. Yeah, that they're feeding the tigers.
And I'm like, you are not.
No, they're feeding the fucking people who are visiting his zoo.
But is it bad that I feel worse for the tigers? I'm like, please stop feeding the tigers expired hot dogs. Stop.
I feel bad for the fucking humans who are like, I just want to come visit tigers. And they're like, here's some lunch, you guys, at our lovely commissary.
Honestly, Keegan, you're 2 episodes in. I've watched 2 more, and I can tell you, I cannot wait for the text from you. Because it gets
shit's about to get. I'm gonna real time live text you guys.
I want it.
The shit that's about to happen because I'm already. I kept like. It's amazing that Anthony watches anything with me anymore. Like I said, this quarantine is going to test our relationship in ways that it has never been tested. Because like I keep pausing it. To talk shit. Like I have control of the remote and I'm like pausing it and being like, okay.
This is Chris and I's life right now. Pausing shit to be like, can we talk about blah, 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 blah.
Oh my God. That makes me feel so much better because I literally talked my way through Invisible Man with Eric last night.
Oh, I'm going to watch the shit out of that too. I haven't watched it yet, but I will watch it.
I had to comment on everything. First of all, why is she so fucking stupid?
Because it's a psychological thriller and that's how they have to be in order for the plot to move forward.
I'm like, how did you make it through life making such dumbass fucking choices? Like, lady.
Well, we thought the same thing about Unsane because like that is how the plot moves forward in thrillers.
Girl, is this weird that I actually enjoyed Unsane a little bit better? I
fucking hated Invisible Man. I'm gonna say it.
Really?
I fucking hated it. I hated it.
You're gonna love it. It is so.
I bet I'll love it.
I hated it.
So up your wheel.
I hated it. I thought she was stupid. I thought the villain they didn't set up at all. I hated that movie. But I will say that I love the fact. God bless the people that made the decision to pull the trigger on all this fire fucking content for us to come. Because I'm like barraged. I got Emma
guys,
to watch. I've got so much stuff.
Wait, are you guys paying for it?
Yeah.
Or is it free? Yeah, you're paying for it, right?
You
okay.
can find it.
Because I'm gonna watch The Hunt. The Hunt has been released, and I'm going to watch the shit out of The Hunt. I'm so
Cassi,
ready.
I found a Discovery of Witches. I'm going to watch that.
Okay.
My boyfriend in it.
Dude. Okay. First
Good.
of all, I started
Chef's
reading
kiss.
that book, and I had to stop reading it, but everything I wanted to like about the book, which just kind of got a little like, whatever. I actually enjoyed the show. I thought it was really good. And fucking Christ, Matthew Good.
He is the hot.
Fire.
Cassi and Christina. You guys need to take this quarantine as an opportunity to watch Stoker. I know I've brought it up before, and it is a very inappropriate kind of relationship that we should not think Matthew Good is hot in.
I mean, he's a vampire in A Discovery of Witches, which is super hot.
I'm gonna watch that too. I'm gonna watch that too, but I'm just saying,
Stoker.
I have Stoker in my voodoo, and it is Cassie, I don't know how you'll feel about it. It's a very unnerving film.
Like
but
scary?
It is
No, it's like
it's very
he's her
moody.
uncle.
And it's very moody. It's like it's a Korean director. He directed something else. Like that's I can't remember right now, but like the film is very unnerving in a lot of ways, but Matthew Good is
I think I like the family thing.
I've watched a few minutes of it and I'm like, I feel very wrong, but holy shit, dude. He's like the hottest guy of all time. He literally is the hottest guy of all time.
If anybody knows Matthew Good, if you want to send him like a tweet or whatever and tag us in it, we wouldn't be opposed.
I wouldn't.
Is all I'm saying.
Hate it, is what
we wouldn't hate it.
Well, if you've got stuff that we should watch, there's definitely a lot of content out there, and we can use some suggestions. Please reach out to us at myworstdatepodcast@gmail.com. We are just looking for anybody to talk to right now. Anybody.
Reach out.
Yes.
And touch
We're
us.
going to be doing YouTube lives. We're going to be doing lots of stuff. Just reach out in general. We're here for human interaction, and the interaction that we get on Facebook is life-saving right now. And
yeah, go join our Facebook group if you haven't already. Please. It's fun in there. We're having a good time. We're sharing memes.
We're doing the thing. And we hope you guys are staying safe and healthy, and we love you guys so much.
Cheers.
This is a Glass Box Media Podcast.